Most lifters think building impressive shoulders requires complicated routines, dozens of sets, and hours in the gym. They assume the key is adding more weight, more machines, more isolation work. But after months of grinding, their shoulders look exactly the same. No roundness, no width, no 3D shape. But what if the whole problem is the opposite of what you think? What if your shoulders aren't growing not because you're doing too little, but because you're doing way too much, and completely skipping the only three movements that actually change your physique? These three exercises look basic, they look simple, but when you execute them with precision, they alter everything: your shape, your posture, your width, and how your entire upper body looks in and out of clothes. And the journey begins with the muscle that gets used the most, and yet grows the least. Walk into any gym and you'll see the same thing. People pressing heavy weight almost every day. Bench press, incline press, push-ups, dips, machines, cables. Every one of those movements hits the front delts. They never truly rest, so when shoulder day arrives, most people unknowingly start their workout with a muscle that's already exhausted, tight, and overworked. And then they wonder why nothing grows. The front delts aren't weak, they're not lagging, they're simply overtrained. They carry half the workload of every pressing session, and by the time you pick up dumbbells for a shoulder workout, they're already screaming. And here's the irony: because they feel fatigued, most lifters assume they need more direct work, so they add multiple presses, front raises, and heavy barbell movements, not realizing they're making the problem worse. The goal isn't to blast them even harder. The goal is to stimulate them just enough for growth without draining the muscles that actually shape your shoulders. And that's where the first essential movement comes in. This exercise might look simple, but simplicity is exactly what makes it powerful. When you sit down to press, something important happens. Your legs can't cheat. Your hips can't swing. Your back stays locked. All your momentum disappears. And suddenly, the front delts have to do their job, with clean mechanics, strict tension, and no shortcuts. While everyone else is arching back like they're trying to escape the weight, the lifters with real shoulder development treat this movement like a precision drill. They lower the dumbbells slowly, feeling the front delts lengthen under total control. They press up smoothly without jerking, bouncing, or leaning. This is how the muscle grows, not from ego lifting, but from tension. Most people have never actually felt their front delts work properly because they're always pressing too heavy. When you lighten the weight and perfect the form, you unlock a level of activation that many lifters miss for years. And here's the secret: most coaches won't tell you. You only need 1 to 2 sets of this. Seriously, not 5, not a whole pyramid, not a burnout. Just 1 or 2 heavy, clean sets where the front delts do the work without stealing energy from the rest of your shoulder routine. Because the real transformation doesn't come from pressing, it comes from the muscle that decides your shoulder width, shape, and silhouette. If there's one muscle that determines how big your shoulders look from every angle, it's the side delts. They're the muscle that creates width. They're the muscle that gives your shoulders that round, sculpted cap. They're the muscle that makes you look athletic even when your shirt is baggy. You can have a strong chest and big front delts, but without well-developed side delts, your physique will always look narrow. Yet almost every lifter trains them wrong. Swinging weights, shrugging traps, jerky reps, momentum doing more work than muscle. People walk out thinking they trained their shoulders, but they barely touched the side delts. This is why the next exercise is the centerpiece of the entire routine. When performed correctly, the lateral raise is the single most effective movement for creating wide, round, 3D shoulders. And here's a shocking truth: the side delts grow the fastest from lighter weights with perfect form, not from heavy dumbbells, not from momentum-driven reps, not from ego lifting. Side delts respond to tension, duration, and precision. When you lean slightly forward, lead with your elbows. Keep your arms just a little in front of your body. Lift with control and lower even slower. The side delts catch fire almost instantly. That burning sensation that most people avoid, that's the exact stimulus this muscle needs. And the benefits go beyond growth. Your upper body widens. Your waist looks smaller. Your silhouette becomes sharper. Your posture improves. You look more athletic from every angle. Even your chest and back start appearing more balanced because the side delts frame them. But here's the twist no one talks about. Even if your side delts explode in size, your shoulders will still look incomplete if one tiny muscle remains weak. Most lifters don't feel their rear delts at all. Not because they're lazy, not because they're weak, but because they've never been taught how to target them. The rear delts are quiet, subtle, and extremely easy to bypass. Your traps, upper back, and rhomboids love to take over, and when they do, the rear delts stay flat, undeveloped, and invisible. But the rear delts are the key to the 3D look. They give depth to the shoulder. They make the side delts pop harder. They pull your posture back and open your chest. They stabilize your shoulder joint for pressing. A weak rear delt doesn't just look small, it disrupts your whole physique. That's why the third movement is non-negotiable. This movement solves every rear delt problem instantly. Cables keep the tension constant, forcing the rear delts to work through the entire motion. No momentum, no cheating, no shifting tension into the traps. When you pull wide with your hand instead of your elbow, you isolate the back of the shoulder in a way dumbbells simply can't replicate. You feel that tight contraction on every rep, followed by a deep stretch that activates fibers most people never hit. This exercise doesn't just grow the rear delts, it wakes them up. And once they grow, everything changes. Your shoulders stop rounding forward. Your presses feel smoother and more powerful. Your upper back looks thicker. Your side delts appear even rounder because the rear delts push them outward. This is the finishing piece of the 3D puzzle, the one muscle that ties the entire shoulder together. And once all three heads are finally activated, the next question is simple. How often do you train them for maximum results? Here's the truth most people never hear. Shoulders grow best from 2 focused sessions per week, not from long, sloppy marathon workouts. The front delts already get hit from every pressing exercise, so keeping their volume low actually speeds up growth and recovery. Meanwhile, the side delts and rear delts need high tension, clean form, and consistent weekly frequency. The formula is simple. Low volume pressing protects recovery. High rep lateral raises builds width fast. Controlled rear delt work completes the shape and improves posture. When you slow down the reps, remove momentum, and keep tension where it belongs, your shoulders respond incredibly fast, far faster than they ever will with heavy, sloppy lifting. And once your front, side, and rear delts finally work together, you unlock a level of shoulder shape and roundness that most people never reach, no matter how long they train. These 3 movements don't just build muscle, they fix weaknesses, correct posture, and reshape your entire silhouette. Most lifters keep chasing complicated routines, heavy machines, and endless variations. But the truth is simple. Front delts give strength, side delts give shape, rear delts give depth. When you train all 3 with precision, your shoulders transform faster than you imagined.